So hey, I'm Jeff Leisawitz from Brown Paper Tickets. I'm also the author of the book Not Effing Around, the no bullshit guide to getting your creative dreams off the ground. I'm here today with Nash, my man, the magician. How's it going?
Pretty good.
All right, you ready to talk about some not effing around?
Let's talk about how not F around.
Okay, cool. So what do you do as a magician? What's your thing?
I do a lot of close-up magic and also have a stage show that I tour the country doing. They'll do it on university campuses, and yeah, a lot of magic.
Cool, awesome. So how do you go from a guy doing tricks in his bedroom to touring the country and going around and getting these kinds of gigs?
Ooh, it's a long road, my friend. I started off doing magic at restaurants because I have a friend who's a magician who was a professional magician at that time. Kind of just hooked me up, and that's how I got started. And from that point on, you just keep going. You know, you meet new people, you meet, people that can help you in Korea, and you can help them in Korea. It's a process.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So what do you love about what you do? Why are you doing this? What do you love about
What's
it?
not to love, man? I love it because it harkens back to the word you say, creativity. Yeah, because I have to be creative. I cannot stand boring jobs. So to be able to do what I love, obviously, is a great thing. But what's even better is that it pushes you, it challenges you to be more creative and you act. So.
Yeah, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
I would imagine it's, going forward, it's like you got the basics down, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the first part. And then like, how can you push it, from there?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
So what are your dreams and goals with this thing? What do you like really looking to do? What will be the best case scenario?
It's hard to say what's the ultimate goal when it comes to doing this kind of thing because opportunities come and then your trajectory can go in that direction all of a sudden. And I never thought I'll be doing cruise ships, right? But just recently I got approached by a guy who's going to pitch me to the Royal Caribbean in Asia, cruise line because they need a magician that can speak Chinese and English. So it was something that I never thought about. So it was never a goal of mine, but now it's a new challenge for me to do a show in Chinese. So to say something like, what's my ultimate goal? I have a vague idea. I wanted to create a show that is meaningful to the audience. And I always I'm a kind of a philosopher at heart. So I talk a little bit about, life, like how to spend your time, how to face rejection and all that in my show. And so I want to ultimately do a show that really means something for the people that have seen it, not just like, haha, this is a magic show, cool, So yeah.
That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you hope your audience walks away with at the end of the day?
Walks away, ooh, wow, okay. That is a tough question also. Let me think about it, because there are a couple of things I talk about that means very important things to me. One of the thing that I talked about is the idea of giving. How the more you give, the more you receive in the world, and that's really true. And kind of the hippie mentality. I want people to walk away with the mentality of being more giving than they already are in their life, because good things come from giving.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So what do you do to give your magic to the world, like besides the typical shows?
Gotcha. Giving back is important to me, so monthly I would do a free show for an organization called Birthday Dreams, and they organize birthday parties for children in homeless shelters. And that's very, very important to me because, yes, making good money is I'm very fortunate, it's great. But to be able to really provide and give an experience to a child that have probably never seen magic before, and to see their face lit up, and then they tell me next time I come back next month, I need to teach them a trick. It's amazing, to be able to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's like changing lives, I think.
Yeah, maybe
Potentially.
Maybe. Yeah,
Potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, a kid sees a magic show
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't have access to that kinds of things, and wow, suddenly they believe in magic.
Uh-huh.
They believe they can do this. This is something that they want to do that maybe they don't have any other, passions or interests. I mean, it's a big deal.
It could be, yeah. That's how I got started in magic. I saw a magician, so yeah. So it is cool. But if nothing though, I provided an hour of happiness for them. So that's awesome for me.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
is awesome. Great, thank you. Great answer. What would you say the highlight of your creative career is? Of your magic career so far? Is there a specific moment or something that really sort of stands out?
Yeah, I would say that recently I put together a trick and I did it on a show called Fool Us by Penn and Teller. It's a trick that I do in my show, but to make it TV more fit the TV format, I had to change a couple of things, and it took me a month to be creative and think of ways to make it work so the camera angle would work, wouldn't expose the secret, and that's definitely a highlight because one, to be able to perform with Penn and Teller is amazing. The other one is because I never get to do that trick beforehand, so the first time I actually do it is on the show, so there's no margin of error. So that was kind of scary, but I did it, and I'm pretty proud of that creative moment of mine. Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is NFA. That is not fucking around. I mean,
No.
first time you do it, you're doing it on camera. That's it. One shot.
That's it, on camera on national TV. One shot. So can't F around on that one.
Awesome, cool. So, you have had some success in this career, I would say. What have you learned from your successes so far?
Wow. Okay, what have I learned from my successes so far?
Yeah.
Wow, there are a lot of things I learned. On a personal level, having a good work ethic is it's kind of a given. To be able to do what you love, you got to stick to it. You can't be lazy. And another thing, it really goes back to. I think a lot of my success comes from the fact that I've met great people that really help propel my career, and that's from a lot of networking. And from that I learned that don't talk about yourself too much. Actually, is a very important thing, and be the person that helps connect other people. Because I think the more you give, really the more you get, and that's very true. Because a lot of times I'll volunteer at an organization or whatever, and they see the kind of work ethic that I have, and that's when they realize, oh, this guy, we can trust him, and that's where jobs come from. Who have seen me work, volunteer, giving back. So, so that's something I learned. That's a lot, though. I can go on an hour about what I learned from my work. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you. Okay, so I suspect over the course of your career you've had a few failures. Can you tell me about that and what you've learned from those experiences?
Certainly. I did a show and I didn't know how to draw a crowd back then, and it didn't work out. And from failure, I learned the importance of being brave when it comes to accepting changes, because obviously something didn't work. You got to change something. So that whole summer I spent on the street doing street performing to learn how to draw a crowd. And from failure, I think failure is just like a it's a sign that for improvement. It's not failure. It just shows you that, hey, you need to improve a certain thing. So it's opportunity that comes with it.
What actions, and you may have just answered this a little bit, but what actions or strategies do you use to reach your goals? Like, how do you get from where you are to where you want to be, your next goal? Do you make a list? Do you prioritize things? Do you just go all out and just shoot in every direction? Like, how do you move towards what you want?
Okay, how do you move towards what you want? You just move. You just do it, and you don't stop until you get to the point where you want to be. And it could be a trick that I create. I don't stop until I find a solution to it, or I cannot find it, and I realize that hey, this is not worth my time. So you have to constantly keep going, but at the same time also evaluate your process. So definitely that's how you do it. There's no other way. You just do it. You just go for it. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right.
I wish I had more better things to say, but there's really nothing.
Hey man, the simple answer. Like, I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
And as you were saying that answer, I'm thinking like Nike. Just what's the thing? Just do it.
You have nothing to lose.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a 3-word slogan that has motivated a zillion people.
Yeah.
Right? To go buy sneakers and go do something.
Yeah.
Do you have people that help you be held accountable for your goals? Do you have people that you talk to that you say, hey, I'm going to work on this new trick. In 3 weeks, I'm going to have this thing together. Is that kind of, is that useful to you, or do you do that? Or are you totally self-driven that you can just get up and do it?
I don't necessarily have anyone that hold me accountable for my goal setting other than my audience, because that is the most important people that will hold you accountable. They control your career. So is there like a timetable? Not necessarily, because when it comes to, like, let's say a trick I created, I want to put in my show, right? It would take multiple performances before you realize, hey, these kinks need to be worked out. The script can be tightened up a little more. So yeah, I guess I'm pretty self-driven. If I'm not happy with the performance, I can see from the crowd's reaction, then I'll just keep working on it. So yeah, that'll be my answer.
Yeah. So just doing it and watching the reaction tells you all you need to know.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. Are you on the lookout for opportunities, and where and how do you look for them?
Am I on the lookout for opportunities?
Yeah.
I would say yes, but I do it kind of subconsciously. I don't even think about it sometimes. Like opportunities. When it comes to me, I think it's let's say events, right? I can look at an advertisement and see like what kind of events there will be in town, and then I'll approach them, be like, hey, do you need entertainment? And a lot of times you get rejected, but you learn to have thick skin. You don't care about that, because again, you have nothing to lose. Whatever, you might as well ask. So I guess in that sense, I'm always looking for opportunities.
Right.
Yeah.
So, do you ever create your own opportunities?
Do I create my own opportunities? In a way, yes. Because being visible is very important in my line of work. And so I try to get on TV as often as possible. I try to, if not on TV, I would create a lot of magic videos on YouTube. And people will see you. You need to be seen in order to do what you do for a living, And even like the show for the Asia cruise ship, the guy found me on YouTube, from my videos on YouTube. So there you go. I always create opportunities to be seen.
And it only took that one guy, and for all you know, you're gonna be cruising around.
Yeah.
For 6 months, making a pile of dough and having fun.
Right.
Do you tend to stay in your comfort zone as a magician and a performer, or do you push outwards? Do you try to do things that you've never done before, and why?
I love the comfort zone. For me, the comfort zone is confidence when it comes to it. Like, I would know exactly what trick would get what reaction. But I also will get out of my comfort zone a lot, because my show is constantly evolving, and I always want to try new things in the show, and you have to in order to be an artist. You're constantly evolving, So an example I can give is that sometimes I'll create a piece of magic that triggers a different type of emotion than just wonderment or laughter, and that can be kind of scary, because you go from emotion to emotion, but you just never know until you try it. So it's somewhat uncomfortable to start. You get anxious to see what kind of reaction you get, but once you've done it enough and you feel comfortable, then you know it works.
Then you got to do another one.
And you got to do another one. Yeah. So it's the ebb and flow of being comfortable and uncomfortable.
That's great.
Yeah. I hope it gave you a good answer.
No, I think that is a good answer.
Yeah.
I think for each of us, in whatever we do, finding that right balance is true, because you have to have the confidence of what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
If not, you're going to falter, and it's, you're going to fail, which helps you get more confidence, hopefully. And once you have enough of that, then you should have the confidence to do what you know you can't necessarily do well. And after a while, that turns into something that you're confident about, you're comfortable with. Then you do it again. And I think that circle is what makes a performer or writer or photographer, anybody, just better.
Indeed. I totally agree.
So it sounds like these days you're doing pretty well with this. That's awesome.
All right, good.
You're doing all right. That's okay. You can toot your horn there. That's cool. But I suspect for a while it was difficult. It was a struggle, as it is for most artists and creative people. You very rarely kick ass straight out of the gate. Right? So what was it during that time, months, years, I don't know, that kept you going? What pushed you forward to attain your goals when things were rough and difficult when you started?
What kept me going? Let me think back. Okay. When I first started doing magic, obviously I was not making, as much money or doing as many gigs because no one really knew me back then. So there was a time when I actually also part-time at a local gym. And then after 3 months, and I realized that this is not something that I want to do. And that was also a time when I tried to get into graduate school as well. I didn't get into it. So that was a moment in my life I had to make a decision. Like, what do I want to do with the rest of my life? And it harkens back to, how much passion I have for magic. And it's something that I really, really love. And I'm like, why not just keep going and go for it and don't stop until you get to where you want to be. So it was, I guess, a series of life events that happened, like didn't get into grad school and then hating my part-time job that really steered me toward like, hey, this is what you love, then just keep doing it. So that's what kept me going.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay. Fantastic. Yeah. I mean, that's true. The universe kind of knocks you around a little bit.
Yeah. It's like when you realize what you don't like, then you know what you like. Then you just keep doing it because that's something that makes you happy.
Yeah. So, as a creative person, how do you define success?
How do you define success? Bank account? No. How do I define success? In terms of business, yes, of course, how many shows you've done, your overall profit is an indicator of the success that you have achieved. In terms of the artistic value as a performer, it all depends on your audience, and do your best indicator of your success as a performer would be your audience, because the reason why you perform is because you wanted to perform for people. So pay attention to what people tell you. Pay attention to how they react to your act, and I think that's a great indicator of success. And also don't fall into the problem. If you're a magician, don't freak out if people don't respond, because there are a lot of different ways people respond to magic. A lot of times they might internalize their wonderment, like, what happened. They go into like puzzle and problem solving mode. Doesn't mean it didn't work. It just means you need to do for a couple of different audience to get the overall picture. So, yeah.
Sure, makes sense. Okay, so if you could speak to aspiring magicians and or other performers or musicians or writers or just creative types in general and give them Nash's recipe for not fucking around, what would that look like?
In terms of business or in terms of just...
In terms of, doing their thing, right? Somebody's starting out, somebody wants to, bam, get somewhere. They want to be you. They want to have these opportunities and cruise the country and go on a cruise ship and be on a TV show. And right now they got a couple tricks they're working on in their room. So what would you say to them in terms of how to do it? Just as, your 3-point, 5-point plan. Practice until you freaking get it perfect. Do whatever.
Okay. How not to F around as a performer, as a magician, it's actually pretty self-explanatory. It's not effing around because you're only given so much time in the day. You're given so much time in your life to achieve what you want to do. So any moment that you are not thinking about your act or improving yourself, it better be like to recoup, to rest. Because you need rest. You can't just keep going at it forever because you would drive yourself nuts if you do that. Okay, you need to have a balance. But when you are going at it, you better go at it and not go half-ass. You know what I mean? I using bad words over here, and a lot of it really is just keep going and keep being visible. I think for people who does creative work, you're selling yourself. Your product is you. So the more opportunities you seek to be out there, the more people see you. And they see your work, they like it, and you can replicate it and do it again and again, and that's how you achieve success in your work.
Fantastic, man. That's great.
Yeah. Oh, I wish yeah, better things to say.
You have great things to say.
It's just like stuff like that, like the reason I'm doing this because, I hope it helps you. First thing first, you got a great idea. I want to see the book too, by the way.
Yeah.
But it also helped me, so I also got to thank you for having me here because, you helped me. So.
Well, you're helping me, and I thank you, and thanks for doing it.
No problem.